Hello, welcome to this short recording on 10 tips to pass CFA Level 2. My name is Simon Holohan and I'm the head of CFA exam training here at Fitch Learning. Tip number 1, allow more time for Level 2 than you did for Level 1. The CFA recommend 250 to 300 hours of study. My own experience is for Level 1 I did less than that, for Level 2 I did significantly more. So allow for that, get your schedule sorted out early, allow for the fact that whatever you did for Level 1, I would increase it by 50%. Level 2 is a big step up. Number 2, do you understand the topic? What I mean by that is the questions will not be easy questions. They really will drill down as to whether you actually genuinely understand something. So for those of you who are trying to get through by rote learning, by just memorizing facts, I'm afraid the Level 2 exam will find you out. So please, please don't just try and learn from memory, don't rote learn, but please make sure you understand each topic. Tip 3, cover the whole curriculum. The exam is much narrower in its breadth than Level 1. So there's only 60 questions in each paper, whereas at Level 1, of course, you had 120 questions. That means the examiner has less questions per paper to test the curriculum, which therefore means there'll be big gaps in the curriculum. Now, it's no point you, therefore, saying to yourself, I know 75% of the curriculum, therefore I'm okay. The exam may disproportionately test the 25% you're not happy with. So please make sure you have no significant gaps. Tip number 4, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. We all do. And there'll be some topics, some readings which you simply don't get, or you may not get first time. My advice to you is do not neglect it, but look for low-hanging fruit. Even the hardest topics will have some low-hanging fruit. And the way to be successful at Level 2 is to make sure that even in your worst, toughest area, you can cobble together 2, maybe 3 marks out of a set of 6, which obviously is how much you get in one case study. If you can get 2 or 3 in your tough areas out of 6, then you can make up for that by getting 5 or 6 out of 6 in your strong areas. But however, if you were to get 0 out of 6 because you've given up on a topic, it starts to make the maths very difficult to bring up your average score to a passing score. So look for the low-hanging fruit. Tip 5, don't forget the CFA books. I know, they're not always the best resource for many people to use. They can be a little bit waffly in places, but they are extremely detailed. They cover, of course, the whole curriculum. And I'd say at the very least, I would go through the questions at the back. There's some really good questions at the back. Okay, some excellent, some just good, but they're still well worth going. So as a bare minimum, do the CFA end of chapter questions. Tip 6, keep the momentum going. So if you do find yourself getting stuck on an area, don't keep going because you get diminishing returns. Just move on to the next area and come back. It's amazing how often your brain makes connections without you being aware of it. And when you come back to revisit a topic, you find it's actually makes more sense. So if you do find you get stuck, just move on. Tip 7, don't neglect the wordy parts. There will be some readings which are very wordy, very waffly, and if I'm honest, a little bit dull to revise. There's no calculations, there's no hard facts. You're left thinking, what are they going to ask me? But I can assure you that will not stop the examiners writing a case study that will test those areas. So although they're not much fun to learn, you're going to have to go through them, read them, make a few notes. The exam will not all be about calculations. That's the big mistake people make. So please don't forget the wordy parts. Tip 8, question practice is key. Now this is something you'll be doing later on in your progress through the CFA calendar. So around about sort of April, May, you'll be turning your attention to exam questions. But try and do plenty of exam questions. There's a definite technique to answering a Level 2 exam question. The main advice I can give you is to read the questions first. But you'll find by doing sufficient number of item sets or case studies, you'll develop your own technique to make sure the exam is not time pressured. It shouldn't be time pressured if you put in your homework. Tip 9, Manic May is what we call it. In May, the pressure really builds up. Everybody starts to worry about they haven't done enough revision. All you focus on is on the areas that you don't know and you really don't appreciate what you do know. And everyone tends to lose a little bit of balance, a bit of perspective. If you know that's going to happen, you can deal with it. So just watch out. May, you'll go a bit mad. We all do. Just have to tell yourself it's normal, it's perfectly okay, everyone does it, and get through. So watch out for Manic May. And finally, on the actual day, don't panic, adapt. You will not see questions you've seen before. There'll be new questions. They'll flip things around. They'll turn things upside down, inside out. They'll go from left to right and right to left. They'll flip it all over the place. You have to be calm. You have to rely on your knowledge and just adapt to what you know. Well, hopefully you found these 10 tips useful. If you want to know more information about how we at Fitch Learning can help you succeed at CFA, then please contact our local offices and you'll find the numbers are here. Thank you for listening and good luck.